Okay, does anybody want to ask the question? We got Carrie on here right waiting on you. No questions tonight?
Carrie, this is Mary Ann from Ohio.
All right.
I got my court order and everything, and I did the 12/22/7 form, put the whole package together, and sent it out to 6 IRS offices.
Good for you.
Now, that was 30 days ago. My husband and I just got noticed from the Treasury that they're going to start taking out more.
Okay, you need to go to the Treasury with your package that you just sent out. Send it to them with a cover letter telling them that you can't take more because the IRS didn't have jurisdiction to start with.
Okay.
And you don't say taxes. You don't owe taxes. You don't ever say that.
Right.
What you tell them, all right. What you say is the IRS doesn't have jurisdiction according to if you look at your motion that you got from them, it's got an attorney's name on it. So you use his name. The attorney for the IRS, so-and-so.
Right, I have, yeah.
Right. Okay, they stated that the IRS is taking it and they don't have jurisdiction. So how come you're taking it? Say, put it on them. Don't, and do it again.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, no. Thank you for being here.
Okay, next.
Hi, this is Tony from Maryland. I sent them a package. I got my order. I sent the motion, a copy of the order, to the IRS in response to them saying that I had a deficiency in my taxes. I told them I never received no notice, and perhaps you don't have no jurisdiction. I wrote a nice cover letter. And they responded by giving me official notice of deficiency. And I got to respond in 3 months. And I'm like, I know it's just some tax examiner doesn't understand the legalities of what I sent him. So should I just respond back to him?
I would. Now, what I would do is I would say use the person's name who told you didn't have it. There's an attorney. So what you're going to say is Billy Bob attorney stated I didn't get a notice of deficiency. So in other words, he perjured himself, or you're perjuring yourself.
Oh, okay, that's good, because I was responding saying that you sending me the stuff. None of this stuff is on the perjury or penalty, and I don't understand why you're sending me. So
right. What you never do is you never say I. It's not about you. So you blame them. Okay, the attorney so-and-so, they perjured themselves. Oh, by the way, perjury in the court brings 25 to life. So I'll be in contact with them. In other words, you throw it back on them. Say,
okay. All right. That sounds like a plan.
Right. I hope that made sense.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Next. If some of you are muted, don't know how to get off of mute, just push *6 and you'll be unmuted.
Okay, this is good. Maybe we'll get an early night, Ed.
It looks like it.
Yeah.
Carrie, this is Barry Brooks.
Maybe this is Carrie. Maybe it isn't. Yes, Barry.
Well,
go ahead.
We were trying to get the paperwork for Zolman versus Fell.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that they do have it on the internet if you pay a fee. And I'm not opposed to paying a fee to get the paperwork. Is that the way I need to go?
I didn't know you had to pay. I just know I filed it, and I know that what they did was the agent never answered, And then after I put in for a motion to summary judgment, they denied it. They didn't answer it, but yet they denied it. Now,
right.
Tell me, why would they do that? Because, see, there's no jurisdiction. And that's what made me realize the federal district court doesn't have jurisdiction. It just doesn't have it over the agents. Let me see. I don't know if I have it or not. If I have it, I'll try to get it to you.
Okay. We talked about it before.
I'm sure we did, and I'm not even sure I can find it, anymore, because it's been a couple of years. But right. But the problem that we're having is if you ask the federal district court, do you have jurisdiction over the IRS? They won't answer you. Yet, if the IRS CID comes after you, they take you in front of the judge, and it's going to be a federal district court. See, they're all in disarray now. They're pretty upset. I had a federal judge call and said that this is really stirring. This is stirring them up more than they ever thought it would, because what's happening is people are we're able to connect the dots now. See, we haven't been able to connect the dots before.
Right.
And you understand it's not about you, correct?
Right.
And see, in the past, it's always been about us. I'm here by special appearance. We don't care. I'm here. I got blood in my veins or whatever. However, I'm a living, breathing soul, whatever. None of that mattered, because, see, when you do that, you're bringing you're putting all the all the responsibility. You're taking the responsibility. You're putting it all back on you. If it's not about you and you're attacking the law and they're not following it, see, it all goes on them. They can't just go out there, knock on your door and shoot you. What you shooting for? Because I could. Well, that doesn't make any sense. See?
Right.
So what's happening is, if you'll look at Title 26, 7608, it says in there that the E, that's the enforcement agents, they only can enforce. The A's can only administer. So the E agent only has jurisdiction under alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. So they're telling you that the E agent has nothing to do with you. So when they say you're willful failure to file, that comes from an E agent, an enforcement agent.
Right.
They're telling you the truth. You didn't file an alcohol, tobacco, and firearms return because you're not in it. That's the only place they have jurisdiction, is in alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. So unless you're an alcohol, tobacco, and firearms dealer and sell that to make your living, the IRS doesn't have jurisdiction over you, because this is what they set up. This is not what we set up. This isn't my idea. They set it up this way. Okay, it's set up that way. But now they're getting angry because people are figuring it out. It's not about you and what you did or didn't do. It's about them. They need to follow the law. I hope that made sense.
Yeah, on that point, my dental office was raided by the IRS, but they had E's and A's both there.
That's fine.
And I challenged the enforcement. I said, "You're coming in here under alcohol, tobacco, and firearms, and I'm not involved in that." And another agent standing right by me said, "You're right, Dr. Brooks, because I used to work for alcohol, tobacco, and firearms." And he was an agent for IRS then.
Right.
So I was getting it confirmed that, they don't have jurisdiction, but they had the guns. And they had the local police. I called the sheriff to come and get these guys for trespassing, And they said, well, you need to call your local police. And I was in Jacksonville, Texas. So I called the police department. This was like 7 in the morning. And I said, you know, they're trespassers and I need somebody to arrest them. And they said, well, if you look outside your front door, there are police officers already there with these men.
That's right.
So they were escorting the IRS into the raid.
Right. Now, the best way to do this is just from what I'm doing my reading. Don't sue the IRS. Sue the local police. Because what will happen is, if you sue the local police, what they're going to do is they're going to subpoena the IRS in. The IRS won't show. So that gives you an advantage. Go to the tax court, get your court order. Once you get your court order that they don't have jurisdiction, then what you do is you go down and file a complaint with the local police or the local sheriff or the local constable. And the reason for it is, see, they're doing it on counterfeit security. See, they're saying, well, you owe. Here's the lien. Here's the levy. It's not. It's a notice of lien. It's a notice of levy. See, ignorance of the law is no excuse. See? And we took one judge off the bench because he says, well, I didn't know. Well, you know, you're a doctor. You're a dentist, you said, right? Or you're a doctor. Okay, you're a dentist?
Dentist.
Okay, if I come to you and say, hey, my tooth hurts, and you pull the wrong tooth, you're incompetent, dude. You're incompetent. That's what the sheriff is. Okay, the sheriff's incompetent. He doesn't know the difference. We used to say, you don't know shit from Shinola. He doesn't know the difference between a notice of lien and a lien. And there's a huge difference. See? And so what we're doing is don't go after the IRS, because the IRS is going to go take it to a federal district court. The federal district court has no jurisdiction, so it's a fiasco. You can take the sheriff to your state district court, and then what'll happen is the county or the county or the state attorney will come in and try to defend him. The problem is, it ain't about that. Here's what it's about. Because the IRS won't show. I have a document here that says they don't have jurisdiction. This numbnuts, he's incompetent, came and raided my office. See? And the way I look at it, if I go to the doctor and tell him that my finger hurts and he chops my toe off, he's incompetent. It had nothing to do with my toe. It had to do with my finger. So he's incompetent. And so what you do is go get. I have an issue here where I'm at. I'm in Texas also, and I'm suing the county clerk because the county clerk. I filed a lawsuit. They made me put up $3,000 cash. The defendant, they gave him the money. He gave him my money, so she's incompetent. So now I'm banned from even going to the courthouse. But that's okay. See, now they're running for office. I'm showing up at the rallies with my lawsuit, and I'm passing them out. She's being sued for incompetence. So it gets dicey real quick. Does that make sense?
It does.
See, so always don't look at the obvious. Look at the thing that doesn't. It may not be so obvious. So go after the sheriff or the state police or whatever they are, the local police or the constables or whoever they are, because see, they're the ones that are bringing the guns. They bring a gun to the house. You know, I'm not going to stand up against a gun, and they will shoot you. And the reason they're doing it, well, we got a document here that says that you didn't pay your taxes. Well, he's not an attorney; he's making a legal determination. See, and But what they're having is they're creating. I mean, they're creating an absolute nightmare for people. I mean, they're taking people's checks and everything else. So
right.
I hope that helped you. And if you need help with that, get it with Ed, and I'll do my best to help you where I can.
Okay, thank you.
No, thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for letting me and Ed, reach out to you. Thank you.
Next.
Does anybody else have a question?
Yeah, I have a question. This is Bruce from Northern Michigan.
Well, Bruce, I'm from Michigan. Where are you from in Northern Michigan?
East and north of Traverse City, Rapid City.
Well, you know where Glen Arbor is?
Oh yeah, I know where Glen Arbor is.
Okay, I'm from in that area. Let's see.
Oh.
Let's see. Maple City.
Yep.
Okay.
How long has it been since you've been there?
It's been a long time. It's been a while, but my family's still there.
Oh yeah, you might know a Glutler. He was a local politician in the area, maybe.
I don't like politicians, so they're not my
favorite. I don't either.
So
anyway,
Go
gentlemen.
ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I've got a notice of federal tax lien here for an amount $56,600, and they're giving me until the 19th. Well, they told me that I can file for a hearing, which I don't think I'm going to do. I wouldn't do because I don't.
Go ahead. No, you should do it. No, you should do it.
Oh, for a request a hearing?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And here's
well, that's right. They don't have jurisdiction. I've got certified copies of my notice from the judge, tax court judge.
There you go. But not only that, the E's are going to show up.
They're not going to even show up, are they?
No, the E is. Yeah, they're going to show up, but he don't have jurisdiction. Now, what you need to do is write down Title 267608.
I got it already.
There you go.
Yep.
When you show up,
yep.
You ask them, who in here is an E? They'll raise their hand and hand it out to them. Please leave.
Yeah.
You can leave the room. You can leave the room now.
Right. Okay.
Then the other ones are going to say, well, here, you can leave the room too because here you don't have jurisdiction either. You can cut it, chop it off right now.
Right at the root, yeah, right. Well, my other question right now then is the state has filed a lien with the county right now too on my property. I'm going down there tomorrow to ask some questions and get some names and find out why and show them the documents I have.
Well, Michigan is real ugly. These people, the state's worse than the feds. But
yeah,
I have a sister that has a little trouble with them. But let me just tell you how I think I would do it. Now, you understand I'm not an attorney and I'm not giving you legal advice.
I understand.
If you print out Title 31, Section 3124, and Title 18.8, it tells you the state cannot use Federal Reserve notes to figure a tax. Now, ask the state. I believe in Michigan, on page 7, it says all state taxes are done by your federal tax return.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
See, now they got a problem because the feds say they don't have jurisdiction. How did the state get it? So
exactly.
Don't get into all this. So instead of telling them, ask them. Do you have jurisdiction? Why, yes, sure do. No problem. See, now they got a problem. See, because what they're doing is they're telling you one thing and something else is showing up. But that's the angle I would take on it. I
see. Mm-hmm. Because it is in the state. You carry over your amount from the federal form 1040.
There you go. See?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. And if it's zero, how can it be? How can I owe money at the state if it's zero?
Well, it's not zero. The feds don't say it's zero. The feds say they don't have jurisdiction. So if the feds don't have jurisdiction, how did Michigan get jurisdiction?
Yeah. Okay.
See?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Now, think about this. I'm in Texas. So Texas sends you a property tax bill and they happen to list the property you're in, but it has Texas on it, would you pay? Would you send them the $10,000 that they say you owe? Would you do that?
Of course not.
Why not?
My property's not in Texas.
Doesn't matter. See, we don't care if it's in Texas or not. We need the money, and so what we said was, well, if whatever the feds say, that's what you have to do. See, we're building a fight you can win. The fight that you can win would be, the feds don't have jurisdiction. How did the state get it? Because under Title 31, Section 3124, it says the state, a subdivision of the state, cannot charge tax on federal obligations. And then federal obligations are defined in Title 18, Section 8. And by the way, Title 18 is crimes and criminal procedure. So Title 18 is felonies. So if you do it right, you'll have the state committing a felony just for asking for them.
Mm-hmm.
Don't tell them anything. Ask them.
Ask them.
See,
all right.
You're in an election year, so if they don't, you ask them. If they don't answer you, then I would get the Attorney General involved. Hey, look, man, I'm trying to get this fixed. I'm trying to fix it. And I always say I'm ready, willing, and able. But
yeah.
if I don't know, I don't know. See?
Yeah. Right. Okay. So just fill out the 12153 and send it back to them for a request for collection due process or equivalent hearing, eh?
I would, and just get it over with because number one, the E, I would take a 7608, 267608 and get the E's out of the room.
Yeah, sure.
And then I would take the court order that you got and get the A's out of the room. Say, I don't know what to say. See, that would be my argument because you've got it all in writing, and if you've got a certified copy, you can show them to the E's too. Tell the E's, all at the same time. Just take you a dozen copies because you don't know how many's going to be there. That way you can give to each one of them 7608 and that. And let them say, well, that's not what it means. Oh, now they made a legal determination, see? But that's what I would do. Going down there, it's not that difficult. And take you a pad and a pen so that as they make some stupid, they're going to say something stupid, you write it down.
Yeah.
And they always want me to sign theirs. So what I always do is, here, sign this. Where we don't sign it, I always say ditto.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Anyways, now you've created a huge problem for them because, number one, you showed up, and number two, you've proven what they're doing is bogus. I hope that helped you. I don't know if it did or not, but I hope it did.
Yeah, it does. It gives me great clarity.
Well, and go in there with a positive attitude. The one thing, don't go in there and say, you sons of bitches. That doesn't help.
Oh, yeah. No.
That doesn't help.
Yeah, that doesn't help. Like you say, it's not about you.
That's right. It's not about you. Go in there and
it's
say,
not about you.
I'm glad I'm here. Let's get this fixed today. See? And then that's how I do it. Now, I'm not telling you anything other than, I do it that way, and when I go in, I always, almost every time when I leave in a lot better position than I went in.
Sure, right. Yeah, like a friend of mine used to say, let others have what you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'll be sitting in on these calls. They're still every 2 weeks, aren't they?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next.
Hit *6 and you'll be in the queue.
Well, we got a bunch on here, but they're not. They must all be professionals.
Yeah, they are.
Harry.
I'm sure. Yes, sir.
Hey, how do you handle 7608 subparagraph B, where it says enforcement of laws relating to internal revenue other than subtitle E?
Well, if it's not subtitle E, then they don't have any business being in it anyways.
Well, it says enforcement of laws relating to internal revenue other than subtitle E.
Well, that would be A.
No, that's B.
Well, I don't ever that far. I show it to them at the beginning where it says that their jurisdiction comes from tobacco, alcohol, and firearms, and that's what that's what I talk about. I don't talk about the rest. If it ain't to my advantage, I ain't going to talk about it.
So, do you only print out the A like they do when they print out B, C, and D?
I just print it out the way it comes, and that's all I focus on because that's all that. Yeah, probably so because it's pretty short, and I pass that out to them because it's pretty clear. But if you get a 6331A, it says only federal employees. But then when you get a 6331, it's a B, C, and D. They never print A because A kills the whole thing. So I just print A and let it go.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
I mean, that's what I do, but that doesn't mean it's right. It just means that's what I do. That just means that's what I do. Let them bring it up.
Okay, cool. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next.
Hey, Carrie. Go ahead.
Just quick question, Carrie. What's the difference between you were saying an A and an E?
Okay, it's A is enforcement. I'm sorry, E is enforcement. A is administrative. So A doesn't have any enforcement regulation in it. E is all enforcement, and it's only under alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. So the IRS, the reason it's set up the way is it's voluntary. So we don't have to. So there is no enforcement mechanism in Title 26, except for where they borrowed the 27 portion of it.
You were saying to hand what the certified copy of your the lack of jurisdiction to the.
I'd get copies of it. If you're going to go meet with them, just get a copy of it. Have one certified with you because you don't want to pass them all out. Just get you half a dozen copies of it. When you go there, say, here, look, you guys don't have jurisdiction. Let them say, yeah, we do. Well, then here's the problem that we had. Either you're a liar or the attorney that said that you didn't perjured himself. I don't worry about the tax no more. I'm not going to talk about anything else. I'm going to say, well, who's the liar, you or the attorney that said they didn't give me a notice of deficiency? So see, now you have a court order that the IRS's attorney said, actually the commissioner's attorney said, they didn't give you what they had to give you. And if you read it, if you get the motion, it says, according to 6312 and 6313A, it tells you what it is. So that means that they lied on a court document. That's perjury. Okay? And so here's what I would say, but this is how I am. Wow. So what you're saying is you're throwing this guy under the bus. He's perjured himself, so you're saying he should get 25 to life. And then I just shut up. No, that ain't what I'm saying. That's what you're saying. That's what it sounds like. See, and so you try to divert all the time, and that's what they do. But that's what they're saying. See, they said on your court order that they don't have jurisdiction because they violated your due process. See, due process, it has to be done. So they violated your due process. They didn't give you a notice of deficiency. They didn't give you a notice of determination. How do you know? Because the attorney for the IRS commissioner said they didn't. So if they say, well, yeah, we did, someone's lying, you or him.
Check out our other videos and playlists. Republic of Texas RT documentary. Texas and other American states is under a military occupation. The Republic of Texas Forum of 2016. And describe the kind of people who would thrive in independent Texas. And so check them out.
Right.
See, I don't get into a bunch of fighting. It's kind of like this. If you're cheating on your wife, and she's got pictures of you cheating on her, you're going to say, well, that isn't me. Are you going to believe me or your lying eyes? Well, that's a good question. See, she can see it. It's in a photograph. That's you. That's you with another woman, and she's holding it in her hand. And now here's what you're going to do. No, that's not me. Well, you see that mole on the side of your eye? Yeah. Well, that is you. No, you going to believe me, baby, or are you going to believe your lying eyes? That's what they're up against. See, we've never had this kind of argument before. When you went to a meeting before, you went there and they're screaming, hollering, throwing stuff at you. You're going, well, please, please, please. You're on defense. You're not on defense anymore. You're on offense. The offensive move is, here's what it says. This is what you did. How are you? What do you say? Well, that's not us. Do you believe me or do you believe your lying eyes? Well, in this case, I believe my lying eyes. See?
Yes. Thank you.
And no problem.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yes, sir. I'm calling. I guess I got some confusing documents that have come in. I got a Form 668Z, as in zebra.
Do a backflip, buddy.
Sir?
That's a release of lien.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is they're still taking, I got that a month ago. They're still taking as of this day, as of this month, as you will. And
you need to take that and send it to them. Who's ever taken it, send it to them with a cover letter saying, hey, this is a certified release of lien.
Send it to whom?
Who's ever taken your money.
Okay, Social Security, that's number one. And, again, I guess I need to get this resolved with. And then I sent in, earlier, January of 2019, I sent in to the U.S. passport. And
we're not there yet.
Sir?
We're not to 2019 yet. You must have did it January of 2018.
2018. My if I'm wrong, live with me. The thing is that they have denied, they closed my case, and it had to do with, I didn't pay the $60.
That's okay. Go back again.
How do I go back? Tell me how to go back.
Go get a Form 2, fill it out like you did the first time. Go on their website, download Form 2, and fill it out, and mail it back to them.
When I sent in Form 2 before, of course, my Social Security number is in there. I've got a docket number. What do I do? Do I use the same docket number?
No. You leave the docket number. No, it's already closed. Use a different docket. They'll sign you to it. They'll sign you a docket number. And in the meantime, your 668Z, send that to the Social Security.
Yes, yes.
Send that to your retirement. Send that to the mill. Whoever's taking your money, call them on the phone.
They're taking 54% of my Social Security. Been for the last 4 or 5 years now. And,
tell them that. Hey, I would put together a letter and I'd send it to them. I would send them to Z and tell.
Sir,
I would put together a letter and send it to them, telling them that you have a certified release of lien. They have taken your money for the last time. Return what they've taken. And
with the certified, and I don't want to talk over you, but I am. What I'm asking is the certified release of lien. What does that mean?
Okay, read your 668Z. Read that to me. What's on the top of it? What's it called? What's the name of it?
Sir, I don't have it in front of me because I've been running around trying to actually get on the phone.
Okay, a 668Z is a certified release of lien.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that right there you're done. Take that to your county. Send it to your county. They'll release everything there. Send that to the Social Security.
I live in the District of Columbia, which is not a county.
I don't care where you live. It doesn't matter. Send it to.
I don't have a state. I don't have a state on it or anything like that. And that's what I'm.
But okay. You don't have if they file a lien against your property, where do they file it?
You know what? That's a good question, and I really don't.
Okay, well then that's where you need to start. You need to find out where that's at. Call your. You got a congressman or somebody. Call the White House.
I don't have a congressperson. She doesn't have a right to vote. Eleanor Holmes Norton.
Well, you're just gonna have to find out where it's filed. Send that to the Social Security.
That's a good point. I appreciate it.
But that's your release of lien. That's your certified release of lien. That's what we're trying to get. Once you get that, anybody that's touching anything of yours, you send them that, and that should release it. Get a bunch of copies of it. That way you can mail it out with everything. Send it to everybody who's taking your money.
I'll go to the office, and I'll deal with that, and I thank you so very much for your information.
No, thank you for calling. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yep, thank you.
Hello, next.
Question?
Yes.
Question.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Even if someone doesn't owe any, like I haven't paid tax for 50 some years, income tax.
Good for you.
And yeah, thank you. But I want to know this. You were talking about this release of lien, the 668Z, but does that, if somebody has that, is that can you use that to, I mean, if you don't even have a lien, but can that be used against property tax as well?
No, property tax is state. The IRS is federal.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So that answer that but now on your state property tax, go into your Constitution and see what it says. Texas Constitution says you can't charge it. Michigan's Constitution says you can't charge it, but they are. That's why you have to have them admit. Once you take them to a courthouse that has jurisdiction, you can have that overturned because Texas Constitution says no ad valorem tax. But when you get your bill in the mail, it says ad valorem tax. So it's a direct violation of the Texas Constitution. So we've got several cases. We have quite a few cases that are that we're holding off right now. But it's like they're going to fight to the death for that property tax. So that's a very, very difficult fight.
Okay, so one thing at a time then.
I would, because you get your plate too full, and it's difficult.
Yeah, I don't do anything well. Okay, thank you. Oh,
no, thank you.
I wanted to know, has anyone? I got on the call about 20 minutes late. I don't know if you're taking these kind of questions right now, Terry, and if you're not, just say no, and I'll be excused. But has anyone raised any questions yet, offered anything on the fraudulent foreclosures and evictions? I'm asking because I was working on mine today with your procedure.
Right. I have a procedure, but again, the problem that we have is the Federal Reserve note, okay? And our Congress is trying to keep the bank happy, see? And I don't have a good way of doing it. There's a couple of guys on here, a couple of people on here tonight, that they understand it more than I do. So, there are procedures that I've come up with that really puts them in a bind. But Texas is bad because we're a non-judicial state. They don't even have to take you to court to take your property.
Right. That's what I'm dealing with in Washington and in Missouri. But I was going over my my court files, and it's clear what they ignored and did wrong. But my main argument was, and I'm going to stand on this under due process of Washington Constitution. The fact is that there's no contract. And that's about, to me, it looks like that's about as simple as it gets. Because that way it's not about me. They don't have a contract where there's no assignment.
The simpler it is, the simpler it is, the better it is. But that's not really my forte. And so I don't want to get into that with you. If you want to talk to me off the phone someday, I can give you a couple of issues that we've had success with, but we haven't had enough success yet for me to say I know what I'm doing.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Next. We don't have anybody else on there?
Well, I'll ask another question this time about income tax for family members, if that's
all
okay.
Right.
If somebody's not having a problem and to avoid a problem and still not pay the property tax, what is the simple procedure to do? Where do they start?
Okay, there's only two kind of people. Those that have problems and those that are going to have problems. Because that's how the system is built. When you say have problems on property tax, again, that's state. Okay? That's a state issue.
Mm-hmm.
The 1040, that's a federal issue. So I'm not sure that
I'm talking about tax, the federal tax.
Okay.
The income tax. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. I was listening to you. I'm sorry. I didn't know you were done.
Oh, yeah. How would they begin to prepare a safe way for them out of the paying income tax? Where do they go with that? Yeah, I don't know anything about the income tax because I haven't paid it for over 50 years. Over 50 years. Okay,
so then you're probably going to be okay on it.
Yeah, so I'm wondering about like my children, my adult children, and brothers and sisters. Where would they? Because they're interested. They want to. Of course, nobody wants to pay what you don't have to pay. So
exactly.
How would they begin to a safe ceasing of paying that? I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but so that there's never a problem. But is there? I've heard that there are simply forms that you can complete and send in, and then you'll get something back, or maybe you don't get something back that says, okay, you don't. As a matter of fact, isn't there something in your procedure, a letter that somebody got back and said, we agree you don't owe it for?
Yeah, I got that back. I got that back, but like I said, you're all over the board with me. You're asking me about property. You're asking me about federal income taxes, and they don't file it. They don't have to file it, and somebody, So I'm having trouble following your question.
I just want to know, they're already paying and everything. How do they safely?
That's okay. I'm not telling nobody not to listen. I don't tell anybody not to file. That's not for me to tell you. What I'm telling you is what I've read in the tax book and what and what I've seen. I stopped filing because I can't understand it and they won't answer me. See what I'm saying? So I'm telling you what I've done. I can't tell you what your relatives or family has because I don't know their situation. Let me ask you a question, okay? Are you married?
Well, depends on what you mean by that.
See, that's right. I didn't tell you. You could be married to your job. You could be married to your whatever. And I understand it. See? So unless I tell you, you can't answer that question. That's a fact. It's the same thing with them. They said you have to file a tax return. What tax return? A 1040. Well, the 1040, if you look at it, it's not a tax return. See? The question is, do you know what income tax is? Do you know what an income tax is? Or what income is? Do you know what federal income is?
No, that's a very vague thing too, and that's really what I was asking: is where do they begin their education?
Are you in front of a computer right now?
I am.
Okay, if you would put in Title 31, Section 321. When it pops up, come back. I'm going to let someone else ask a question, and I'm going to let you read it and let you define what income is. All right?
Title 31, Section 3124?
Nope, 321. Title Section 321.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, ask somebody else, and then we'll come back when she finds that.
Hello, we got somebody else with a question.
Hi, Carrie?
Yes?
This is an update on my case, and this is Patty from Montana, and it's really surprisingly good. But
no, it's not surprisingly. It's not surprisingly.
Well, the current lien that they have filed is for $36,000, and that's really putting me under. But on the paperwork, I put every lien since 1986, and it was the total was $235,000. Well, somebody called me on Sunday and said, "Congratulations, look in the paper." And I says, "What is it?" She said, "Just look in the paper on D2." So it says federal liens released. Patricia, blah, 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 $235,000. So
there you go.
They released the lien on all of them. All of them.
Well, that's not a bad thing, is it?
No, it's wonderful.
Okay.
I didn't expect that. So how could I get a copy of that? All I have is a piece of paper.
Okay, was the lien filed in the county?
Only $36,000.
Okay, then what you would have to do is find out where that is, then go to them. If it's filed in the county will give it to you. If it's filed somewhere else, you said you had a list of all of them. Where were they all listed at? That's where you would call to get it.
All over,
do it for you.
Mostly California, Seattle.
Okay, then see,
Austin,
it wasn't. Okay, then it was in a county. So what you would do is you'd write the county. Just call the county and say, "Hey, I need to see all the liens that I have," and then pay. Most counties you can get online. They'll tell you go online and put in county. If you live in Denver County, you put in Denver County, and then you go to tax search and you put it in, and then it pops up. There's a way to do it. That's not my forte either. If I need to know what it is, I have a friend that does it for me, or I just run down to the county seat, down to the county courthouse, and I pay them and they give it to me.
Yeah, most of them are in California.
Okay, then what I would do is I would go on California, if it's in the same county, go online, find out what the phone number, and call California. You could call that county and go to the county clerk and say, "Hey, I got some liens or levies or whatever they are filed there. How do I get a copy of them?" They'll tell you, "Well, here, I can get it for you, but you got to pay so much," and then however they do it. But there's a way that they can usually do it for you, and that's how you could do it, I would assume. But that's where I would start.
My blog is, our blog is texasrepublic.wordpress.com. Our website is thetexasrepublic.com. Our email address is oneyellowroseenterprises@gmail.com. Our YouTube profile is, this is the link, because YouTube doesn't allow us to have a customized URL until we have over a certain number of subscribers. And follow us on Twitter at Texas Republic for You and at We Are Texians.
Okay, but I could just get the number and call them?
Yeah, Ed.
Okay.
I didn't know Santa Claus flew over everybody's house before Thanksgiving.
All right.
Did he come visit? Did he come visit that lady?
I don't know.
Yes, he did.
So, but call the county, and the county should tell you. Okay, the lady that's looking up Title 31, Section 321 for me. Are you there now?
I am.
Okay, the letter D. It's a small D, number 2. Would you read that for me, please?
Okay, let me see.
It's little D.
Yeah, the way down here. Let's see. I see. Okay, I have D2. For purposes of the federal income.
Stop right there. Stop right there. Read that again so you understand what you're saying. For the purposes?
For purposes of the federal income.
Okay, now they're going to tell you what it is. Go ahead and read it.
Estate and gift taxes, property accepted under paragraph 1 shall be considered as a gift or bequest to or for the use of the United States.
Okay, so what is federal income?
For purposes of the federal income, estate and gift taxes, property accepted under paragraph 1, estate and gift taxes, property accepted under paragraph 1 shall be considered as a gift or bequest to or for.
Stop right there. So what is federal income?
Well, that's what I'm trying to read. Is it the estate and
shall be wait a minute. It shall be considered
as a gift or bequest.
There you go. There's the definition of federal income. When you go to work, your employer, does he give you a gift or a bequest?
No.
Then you don't have federal income. That's their definition. It's not mine. It's their definition. So for the purposes of federal income, it's going to be a gift or a bequest. That's what it says. See, I don't make it. I don't care, but that's what it says. See, now that you know that, you decide whether or not you know what you're going to do.
Right. Under paragraph 1. So paragraph 1 says. And then I'd have to go back and read paragraph 1 too and see if I can understand that part.
It doesn't matter what paragraph 1 says because it says right there it's considered a gift or a bequest.
Property
so for the purposes of federal income, for the purposes of federal income, it's a gift or a bequest. That's what it says.
It has to be a gift because you're a volunteer.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you another question. Do you know what money is? If they told you have to pay taxes on your money, do you know what money is?
Well, I was reading Modern Money Mechanics, and that's it's a I'd have to go back and read it again, but it's like federal liabilities.
It's a liability. It's a liability of a bank, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. As soon as they give it to you, it's no longer the bank's, so there isn't any money.
Mm-hmm.
See? If it's a liability of yours, when you give it to me, it's no longer yours. See?
Mm-hmm.
So, but see, I just let them define it. I don't worry about it. Let them define it because they haven't defined anything proper yet. See?
And they don't even stand by what they define.
No, they don't. So I'm not telling you this. I'm telling you file a tax return if you need to. You need to do it, then do it. I don't file it because I haven't figured out how to do it yet. That's me. I don't tell anybody to file or not file. See?
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
I don't know. See? Did I answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Is there another one? Is there a next question?
Yes. Carrie, what was the code on that? 331?
Yeah, Title 31, Section 321.
321.
See, Title 31 is the Treasury. That's the Treasury, money and finance. So that's what the Treasury says it is. 321, D is in dog, the number 2, is for the purposes of federal income. So they're telling you something there.
Okay. Thank you.
Now, would you do it? Would you look up something else for me? Do you mind?
No, I'm right here.
Okay. Type, if you will, go to the 1040 instruction booklet. I'll show you something else that they're telling us. And I'm going to let you read it and you define it, okay? And then when you download it, it's go to page 110. That will be on the number 8 on 2018. It's the newest one. But I want you to go to 1040 instructions, and it'll be a booklet, PDF. You can delete it after you're done. Just download it, and then when you get there, go to page 110. And when you do, I'm going to have you read something, and you tell me what it says. Okay, does anybody else have a question?
Yeah, what certified funds mean?
Say that again.
What does certified funds mean?
I'm glad you asked. First of all, I can tell you what certified means. What is a fund? Tell me what a fund is.
It's a fund, F-U-N-D-S.
Okay, what is it? What is a fund?
Well, I'm not sure.
All right, go to Black's Law Dictionary, look up fund, and then you'll know. See, in other words, fund has a definition. See,
got it.
And that's how you know. See, what they're saying is that's what they do. See, now, does anybody have a Black's Law Dictionary there that they could get to?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Would you look up the word form? F-O-R-M.
Okay.
And then read it. After you look it up, read it. And then now remember, this is a 1040 form, and then it's a W-4 form.
Yeah.
Okay. If you'll read that, then I'll let you read it to me. And the lady that when you find the 1040 instructions, let me know.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not there yet. I did download it, but hold on. I have to find it.
Okay, and then find it, and then go to page 110 if it's the 2018. And I'm gonna let you read something there, and then you tell me what it says.
I got form.
Okay, would you read it, please?
A model or skeleton of an instrument to be used in a judicial proceeding or legal transaction containing the principal necessary matters, the proper technical term or phrase, wherever else is necessary to make it formally correct, arranged in proper methodical order.
Okay, what it's saying is it's a model or a skeleton to be used in a court of law to put you in jail. See? So when you do a form, remember, you're going to sign it under penalties of perjury. And it's a model or a skeleton. See? So what you're doing is you're telling them, I made $42,000. Number one, what the heck's a dollar? Do you know what a dollar is? Then how can you make it? Number two, how do you make a dollar? I bought a printer, I bought all the ink, and I bought the program, but they won't sell me the paper, so I can't make a dollar. See? In other words, I'm not going to, okay, so be careful what you say because, see, it's a model or a skeleton. Okay, have you found that? Have you found the 1040 booklet?
Yeah, I was taking notes on what you were saying.
Okay. Now, did you download the 2018 or 2017?
I have the 27 I'm downloading.
2017? Because it's on different pages. It says the same thing. It's just on a different page.
Well, I clicked for the instruction booklet, but it's giving me something else. So hold on.
Okay. Hey, I know you asked a question earlier, Mike. Would you download that for me so you can read something for me?
Or do you want me to look up again?
Yeah, a 1040 instruction booklet. Just download one. And open it up and let me know what year it is so I can tell you what page to go to so you can read it and they can get a concept of what's going on.
I'm supposed to be downloading it now.
Okay, good. Then that'll be fine.
But it's not doing it.
Okay, while that's doing that, does anybody else have a quick question so we can keep moving forward and not waste your time?
Okay, I'm there, 2018.
Okay, go to page 110, 110.
And are you saying on the, there's only 107 on the PDF, so it's...
Well, that's because you're on 2017. But that's okay. I'm going to let you go to page 100, okay? When you get there, it says the same thing, but I'm going to let you read it also. Mike, when you get to 110, find where it says 6011, 6012.
Our legal right to ask for information is IRC sections 6001, 6011, and 6012A and their regulations. They say that you must file a return or statement.
Stop right there. That's okay. Just stop right there. You absolutely must file a form or a return or statement. Now, here's my question. What kind of a return do you have to file? It doesn't tell you, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Okay. See? So, again, I'm not telling you not to file because it tells you there you have to file the statement or return or statement. So let me ask you a question. What the heck's a statement? Can anybody tell me what? Can anybody give me? All right, tell me what a statement is.
No, that could be a dozen different things.
No,
could be.
It can be. It can. Okay. Okay. Let me ask you this: eat shit and die. Was that a statement?
That could be called a statement.
Put it in an envelope and mail it back to them. That's what it says, and then put on there on page so and so. Now, a return. Do you know what a return is?
It could be a number of things.
There you go. Shit in a bag, staple the top, and return it. See, it's telling you it says do a return or statement. You have to. You don't have a choice. The problem is, here's the problem. They're not telling you what a statement is, what statement, and they don't tell you what return or how. In other words, well, they want you to think, well, it's a 1040. A 1040 is a return. That is true. So is my electric bill. it's a return too. So is my checkbook every month. I do that little statement thing. See, in other words, they're not telling you what to do, so I do what they say. See, when I go into a conference with them, I just go in there and I tell them, here, I need to know, what is a return? What do you think it is? What do I think it is? It's when you pick your nose and flick the booger at you. I'm going to return it. See, you can't ask me what I think it is because it ain't about me. See, it ain't about me. It says right here in your paperwork, I must file a return. Then let's find out what a return is. Because he's going to say, well, it's a 1040. Show that to me. Show me that. Because every time I see a return, if I get pulled over by the police and he gives me a ticket and says, you must return to the courthouse, then do I take a 1040 and mail it to him? See? In other words,
you could actually put a penny receipt from a store purchase. It's something they've returned to you. Put it in, mail it to them, certified mail on their form.
Isn't that what it says? Return or statement. That's all I'm doing is I'm reading it. That's all I do. I read the book. I understand what it's saying. See?
Yeah, I noticed here on the far right column near the bottom, I just happened to catch it. They talk about tax return, and then in the next paragraph they say return. So they're setting you up to see. It says we ask for tax return information to carry out the laws of the United States. We needed to figure and collect the right amount of tax. And then the next paragraph, if you do not file a return, but it doesn't say what return.
That's right. Now, let me show you something. I'm going to try my best. Do you smoke, ma'am? Do you smoke? Are you a smoker?
No.
Okay. Do you know what a cigar is?
Well, that, too, could be any number of different things. And on one call, you mentioned something that I'd never heard about it. I suppose others did, but I don't listen to the news, so I didn't know that you said.
See? What I'm trying to tell you is, that's right. A cigar, see, a cigar can be a boat. They make a cigar boat. They call them a cigar boat because they're long and sleek and they go about 150 miles an hour. They're real big. And they so it can be a cigar boat. I mean, it can be a lot of things. You're correct. See, so rather than me telling them what it is, because I'm not an attorney, if they tell me to file a return, I have the right to make sure I'm doing it proper. What kind of a return? Then they're going to tell me. Well, everybody knows. Well, my grandson isn't 2 years old yet. He don't know because I asked him before I came here. And he just looked at me like I was a nut job. See? So not everybody knows. See, it's a word. It's what it is. It's a word game. See? Okay.
Yeah, and
now,
right here in their own document, it's
there
really
you go.
manipulative writing. It's really manipulative.
That's exactly right. I want you to think about this. I'm not trying to embarrass you or any of that, but if you're single and you started dating a guy and he reached his hand up under your shirt, what would you say?
I'd probably haul off and slap him and move away.
That's okay. But what would you say? No? Stop?
Yeah, something like that. What are you doing?
So,
quit that.
Okay, that's fine. Quit that. What does that mean?
I'd say, I don't know. That's a hard. It's an uncomfortable situation,
I understand that. Okay, but if you
get your hands off.
That's fine. Keep your hands off of me. Okay. Now, let's say you and him get along well and you get married. On your wedding night, you look out the window of your home and you can see in the window of the next door neighbor. He's in the bed with the next door neighbor woman. What would you do then?
Be stunned, I
See?
suppose.
You'd be mad. You'd be mad at him. Why? You told him stop it. No. Now, if he wants any action, he has to go elsewhere because you already told him what your thoughts were. See? And that's what they're doing to us. They're saying to us, well, file a return. Be glad to file a return. No problem. The next thing is, what is file? What does file mean? Do you have a filing cabinet in your house?
Sure. I also have a wastebasket that's called File 13.
See? So what I'm saying is, until I have a right to know. See? If your car's got a thumping in it, you take it to the mechanic, he said, well, it's thumping. It's going to cost you $8,000 to fix. What is it? I'm not going to tell you. What are you going to do? You go, well, okay, go ahead and fix it. No, you're going to say, well, if you don't tell me what it is, I ain't bringing it back. Same thing. See?
Mm-hmm.
All I want is for them to tell me what I have to do. Then when you ask them, well, what's income? Well, what do you think it is? Well, I think income is when I drink a glass of water, I'm taking from the outside, I'm drinking it, that's going income. That's my income. If I take a breath, I think that's income. See?
Mm-hmm.
Without a definition, I can't tell you because I'm not an attorney and I won't give legal advice. So what we're trying to do,
really, could you?
What's that?
You couldn't give it. Only lawyers have do legal things.
Right, but when you ask them, you know what they say? Well, everybody knows. Okay. See, they're going to tell you income is when you go out and make money. Now I got a problem. I can't make any money because I can't get the paper. Let me ask you another question. If I put my right leg in my pants, am I not putting my leg in my pants? That would be incoming my pants? No. Oh, well, what would it be? See? Mm-hmm. I don't want it to be vague. You're saying that you know what it is, then tell me what it is so I can do it. Does that make any sense?
Sure. So that's basically applied. If just keeping just a few of those principles in mind, it's kind of like the principles of equity. Once you learn just the simple principles and to ask questions instead of to assume or presume, then it should become easier to contemplate any situation that way.
That's correct.
And begin to say, I don't know. It could
That's
be anything.
Right. See? Do you know what arsenic is?
I know what one thing called arsenic is.
What is it?
I know that it's one form of arsenic, or one thing called arsenic is I'm not a science person, but it's
poison.
Yeah, it's a poison, and it comes in a lot of different things. It's even an acid.
That's correct. But arsenic is always a poison. So our government says you can have 12 drops of arsenic in a 16-ounce glass and it won't hurt you. How many? Okay. How many?
Down?
There you go. I don't believe that. I want to see the proof. First of all, you drink it first. After you drink it, I'll wait a minute and then I'll drink it. See, I'm not going to just do it because they said. See, I just want to know. See?
Mm-hmm.
So what I am trying to do is get you to think outside the box. They rely on you thinking inside the box. I want to think outside the box because they can't see. They don't know what's coming down or how it's coming down.
Mhm. So, are you also working with property taxes, or specifically just right now mainly with the income tax situation?
Mainly the income tax, but I have done some work with the property tax and the states are a lot more difficult to deal with because some states are worse than others, but the state doesn't always answer you. And you'll ask them a question and they won't answer you. Well, you ask the IRS a question, they won't answer you either. And then they come very viciously at you.
How do you deal with that?
Well, I have a way I do it. I have a way that I do it. And we have 32 cases right now that we have that they don't know what to do because they don't know how to get our arms around it. There's a guy on here tonight that I recognized him. He's a lot better at it than I am. And so, once he finishes what he's doing, we'll have something to draw from. But I mean, I do it different than most people, and go from there. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, I learned a lot just from listening on the calls, and sometimes asking a stupid
Okay.
question.
What I've done is I've made my own form. I've come up with my own form. I fill it out and ask them questions, and if they don't answer it, then when push comes to shove, that's what I stand on. I stand on the fact that I'm stupid. I don't have a clue. I'm stupid. So I don't know what I can do, because if they don't answer it, then they're holding me to a standard that they obviously don't know either.
What situations would you use your form in?
Anytime they ask for money, anything to do with what they say is money, that's when I use it. If I get a ticket and the judge says I'm guilty, I owe $350, I use it for that, because what it does is I just put down Title 31, Section 3124. Which one of these can I pay it with? Send it to them. Say, if they're asking me for anything to do with any of that, if I get a property tax bill, I send that with it. Just all kinds of stuff I use it for, because it's just different.
Okay. I wonder, have you ever used it or tried to use it if you're being told you need to get a bond for something?
I have. Matter of fact, I have used it. I used it on a bond at court. The court asked me for a bond, and I gave it to them.
You gave them the form or a bond?
I gave them the form, and I called it my bond. This is my bond.
Oh,
yeah.
Very interesting. I'd like to see that.
Okay. Well, get with Ed. Ed will get you my number, and I'll send it to you. I'll send just 3 or 4 of them that I've used. I'll even send you the one I used for the bond.
Yeah, that would be wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Does anybody else have any questions?
Yes, Carrie. This is Doug.
Okay. All right.
Form 12277. I already have my court order. And I've got 3 Form 668Ys. And my question is this. Do I need to fill out a Form 12277 for each of the 668Ys, or just a single 122? In the past, has anyone had experience?
Yes. What I do is I do one for each. That's what I would do. I would just send one for each. And then, have you been to the tax court and got your court order from the judge?
Yes, I've got the embossed certified copies.
Okay. Then I would get a copy of that, and I'd send that with it, because what they're doing. Okay, that's how I would make a package. And then I would put a cover letter. Please see the court order that states, and I'd tell them what it says, and I'd highlight it, and I'd say highlight it for your convenience. If you have the motion that the attorneys wrote to generate that, saying, I also sending you the motion that the that the commissioner used in order to generate that, highlighted for your convenience, and then I would send them the 12277. In other words, I would put all that together and send it to them, because sometimes, see, they don't know how to argue this stuff because they've never seen it. Now, let me ask you a question. Okay, I'm going to send you a dubulator switch. When you get it, I'm going to have it in a box, and it's going to say dubulator switch. When you open it up, how do you know that's a dubulator switch?
Because I can define what one is, and I can say whether it is or isn't.
No, you can't, because I made that up tonight. That's a word that's never been. No one has ever heard me say that before. I made that up.
Yeah, but you and I had no agreement, so I'm free. I have infinite degrees of freedom.
There you go. Right. See, and now you're seeing it. That's right. That's how you do it, right there.
Yeah.
When you send it to them. See, when you send it to them, because that's right. What's happening is what we're doing is we're giving them stuff they don't know what it even is. So when they so if he comes back and says, well, the dubulator switch isn't black, it's white. No, it's not. There ain't no such thing. See, in other words, we're giving them an argument that they don't know how to deal with it. And it's a good argument. See, you have an argument. You have a court order. You have a 12277 form. You have a motion from the commissioner. See, and you have and so you put that together and you send it to them. What are they going to say? Well, that ain't no good. What do you mean it ain't no good? It came from your court. It came from your boss. See?
Right.
So that's just my opinion, and I appreciate you saying that, because you're right. If we don't have an agreement, you're right. It's whatever you say it is.
I'll pass one. Let me pass one other thing that I've noticed in dealing with all this, especially the 668Y.
Yeah.
I recently received something from the IRS. They are letting me know they've sent a notice of certification to the State Department. This is basically to block access to getting a passport or passport renewal.
Yep.
Now, the key piece in here that I was scratching my head over until just now, they list all of these year endings and amounts claimed due and so forth. And there's one year on it's the earliest year on the earliest 668Y that doesn't appear on that schedule. All the others appear. And so I thought, well, did they make a mistake? And the answer is no, they didn't. The reason that first entry is not in their notice to the State Department is because it is time released. It's over 10 years old. The last day for refiling was in 2016. And I have read here in the middle of 668Y, in a big bold box, it says important release information. And I'll get to the point here. It says, for each assessment listed below, unless notice of the lien is refiled by the date given in column E, this notice shall, on the day following such date, operate as a certificate of release as defined in IRC 6325A.
Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Don't forget to like this video. And don't forget to click the bell next to the subscribe button so you're notified when there's a new upload. Here's the front page of the channel. The bottom arrow is pointing at the subscribe button that's normally red until you click on it, and this one turns white after you subscribe. And the right one is the arrow. The top arrow is pointing to the bell. Now, the bell doesn't show up until after you click the subscribe button, and then the bell will show up. And that way you can be notified of new uploads.
Okay. Now that you said that, I just thought of this. 6325A, when you read that, put your cover letter that way. In other words, there's something in there. Maybe there's a phrase in there that you can put in your cover letter saying, according to 6325A, see, or whatever. In other words, using that with your cover letter with what you have, maybe that will help you, see.
Okay. Very good. I just want to pass that along. Thank you, Kerry.
I appreciate it. No, thank you. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Can you just bring up to speed so I know what you're talking about? These numbers, 6325A, are those form numbers, IRS form numbers?
No, that's a title. That's Title 26.
Oh, okay. That's Internal Revenue Code, right?
Yes.
Title 26, Section 6325A?
Yes. What that does is that tells you in there about the lien something. If it's not on your lien, it can be on lien for 10 years. 10 years and 1 day, 6325A kicks in and it kills the lien.
Oh,
if they don't renew it. Okay. Mm-hmm. Anybody else? Because it's 9 o'clock, and I don't want to make you guys bore you anymore.
Yes, another question.
Sure, I'll try it my best.
Okay, you get an IMF, which is an individual master file for those who don't know, and it says mod balance of 0. But when you look at the notice of federal tax lien, they refile it and say it's still valid. Isn't that considered fraud on the part of the IRS by refiling something that is no longer collectible?
Well, I would think so. There would be a good thing to put under 6325, put that there and send that in, and send that to the IRS commissioner, telling them that, hey, look what it says, 0, and now you're doing it. That's fraud. And see, there's a good way maybe of lifting it. That's a good way of lifting it, possibly.
Okay, cool.
I'm not saying it is, but yes, Mike, I believe it is, because what they're saying is, see, I only read what they say, and I have a funny way of looking at stuff. But, it says in their own 1040 booklet, you must file a return, but they don't tell me what kind of a return. Same thing there. See, that's the same strategy I would use there. Hey, this is what it says. This is what you did. That's fraud. Send it to the commissioner. Say, I want this released.
And 6325 says exactly that. It has either been fully satisfied or has become legally unenforceable.
There it is. There you go. See? And there you go. Yeah, and say it's legally unenforceable because it says 0 on my IMF. See, it says 0, and so now you can't do that. It's legally unenforceable. And send it to the commissioner. See, and that might be a way for everybody to lose a whole lot of stuff.
There you go. Thank you.
I like it. Thank you. No problem. Thank you. Anybody got anything else? Because we're getting ready to shut her down.
I was just wondering real quickly. I've heard of people doing things with like Form 56 and other things that for and 1099s and OIDs and things like that for dealing with taxes for the courts and different entities are supposed to be paying. Do you work with any of that?
No, I don't. Everybody that I know of that did an OID, they're in jail or they're fighting not to go. What I try to do is I'm trying to just have them leave me alone. I don't want nothing from them. So I'm not real familiar. I know what an OID is, and I know people that have done them. But I don't fool with those in the Form 56. I don't fool with that, and the 1099s and all that. I just don't fool with that stuff because I've been very successful getting people's liens and levies off of them. And really, when I started this, it was for the people that are on Social Security. The IRS takes a guy, he works his whole life, retires, he's living on Social Security, and they're taking his money. To me, that just cuts my heart out. So
how do they do that? What's the basis for that?
It doesn't matter because they said they owe, yet the law says they can't take it, but they're doing it. The guy that I started doing all this with, he was a veteran. He retired from the military. They took his 100% of his military pay, 100% of his Social Security, and they took all of his retirement. He was living on $500 a month.
Wow, that's awful.
That's horrible. And so it's horrible. We got all that restored. Now we're trying to get all of his money back. We may never do that, but at least he's making enough money now that he can live. And see, that's really why I do this. I don't do this for the money because, I do this because people those that are in the most need are the most attacked. So.
This is Bruce from Northern Michigan. The fellow spoke of an IMF just before the lady. What was the IMF?
Individual master file.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, I got a notice that the next call will be November 27th.
All right. Thank you for being here. Yeah, thank you for being here, everybody. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, bye.
Thank you. Good night.